Right, okay, welcome everybody around to our ordinary council meeting Tuesday the 20th of August 2024. I would like to thank and acknowledge my colleagues, my councillors, for all your work and dedication. I would like to particularly thank Councillor Fogarty for your long service and commitment to your community. Thank you very much. It's been very appreciated.
And on the flip side, we've also got these for you as a thank you for being committed for the last 3 and a bit years. So.
Thank you. Thanks, Mark. I won't stick with you drinking a little, of course. Alistair, have you got your
Mute. Alistair, mute, please.
Thank you. Okay. Attendance. We have a couple of people in our gallery and we welcome them and thank them for being here. Item 3, live streaming statement. Edward River Council wishes to advise members of the public that council meetings will be recorded and will be available after each meeting on council's website. All care will be taken to maintain the privacy of those in attendance. However, as a visitor in the public gallery, your presence may be recorded. By remaining in the public gallery, it is assumed your consent is given in the event your image is broadcast. This includes any filming by television cameras if attendance is approved by the Chief Executive Officer or Mayor. Item 4, acknowledgement of country. The Edward River Council acknowledges and embraces the traditional owners of the lands within the Edward River Council area, the Wamba, Parappa peoples, and we pay our respects to their elders past, present and emerging. Edward River Council also recognises the diversity of different cultures within our community and their contribution. Item 6, apologies and applications for leave of absence by councillors. We are all here and I thank you again for your time. Item 7, 7.1. Draft minutes, ordinary council meeting held 16th of July 2024. The recommendation is that council receive and note the draft minutes of the ordinary council meeting held Tuesday the 16th of July 2024. May I have a mover for that, please? Move Councillor Fawns, thank you. Seconded Councillor Peterson, thank you. All those in favour? Carried, thank you. Disclosures of interest. I have a interest in item 11.1 in confidential, a pecuniary significant interest, and I will be leaving the room and handing the chair over to the deputy. Okay. Item 9. 9.1. His draft minutes of the Blighty Advancement Committee. The recommendation is that council receives the draft minutes of the Blighty Advancement Committee meeting held Tuesday the 30th of July 2024 and notes the committee's resolutions. May I have a mover for that, please? Thanks, Councillor Sampson. Can I have a seconder? Thanks, Councillor Fawns. All those in favour? Carried, thank you. Item 9.2, draft minutes of the Canargo Hall Committee. The recommendation is that council receives the minutes of the Canargo Hall Committee meeting held on Wednesday the 24th of July 2024 and endorses the recommendations from the committee contained therein. Specifically, A, the acceptance of the quotation from Top Security Albury to install the security system and sound system upgrade as per quote supplied, and to undertake an internet service with Optus Business to connect the security system with internet connectivity. The decision to support our local whipcraft-in team of young adults for the national titles with vouchers to the value of 600. Congratulations, boys, they actually won, so we have some national champions in our midst. C, it was resolved to order the topping for the tennis courts and conduct a working B, hiring the roller to get the courts into top order. Recommendation is there, I take them as read. Do I have any questions on that one? Councillor Sampson, question?
Through you, Madam Mayor, just the quote for the sound equipment, should that be attached to their meeting minutes? Just to know what that is and how it's affecting the bottom line.
Sure, we can ask for that to be brought back to council. Thank you. Did you have a question, Councillor Beveridge?
Just through you, Madam Mayor. No treasurer's report, is that supposed to be with the minutes?
Being at that meeting, I understand there was no treasurer's report.
Is that normal procedure?
If they didn't have a report, they didn't have a report.
Thank you.
Other questions? Can I have a mover for that, please? Thanks, Councillor Clutton. Do I have a seconder? Thanks, Councillor Peterson. All those in favour? Carried. Thank you. Item 10.1, performance improvement order. I would like to introduce our advisor, Mr. Mark Ferguson. Thank you, welcome, and thank you for being here.
Thank you very much.
Recommendation is that council note the attached performance improvement order issued by Minister for Local Government, the Honourable Ron Honig, MP. We'll take it as read. Do you have any questions?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Just in regards to the issue discussion, we've got the compliance reports 1, 2 and 3. Where do we sit within codes of conduct and complaints handling and those processes, how they occur? Will that be on through at some point in here?
Could you clarify the question?
So
Do you
where
know what I mean?
within all of this do we have conflict resolution, and if there are issues that have been brought up, such as the way we communicate, where that will be addressed in here for the Minister?
Through Madam Mayor, it'll be addressed under each item of each report. So if there are elements of instances that have occurred within, say, the current reporting period, then that will be incorporated within the report to the Minister.
Okay, so will that include you going through with the new council how to make a complaint, how to lodge different issues that they have, and the correct ways about that?
Through Madam Mayor, yes, that's correct. It'll be part of the performance improvement order is to have a really robust induction program, and that'll incorporate those elements of that program for the new councillors.
And with that induction program, have you got a list of what you'll be doing and when?
Through Madam Mayor, not at the moment. I intend to meet with the CEO in the next few days to look at the draft program and provide advice and support to that to build the program between now and the nomination of the and determination of the council.
Thank you.
Does that answer all your questions, Councillor? Thank you. No other questions? Do I have a mover for that? Thanks, Councillor Fawns. Do I have a seconder? Thanks, Councillor Sampson. All those in favour? Against? No against, carried. Thank you. .2 Review of council committees. The recommendation is there that council receive the committee's review report for information. 2, resolve that the manager, governance, safety and risk write to committees to advise them of the pending changes to labelling of committees from section 555 to primary users where appropriate. And 3, refer the recommendations of the committee's review report to the incoming council for action and resolution. Do you have any questions, councillors?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I note that we haven't got a complete list of committees in here for review for the new council. Ones that are being defunct, the ones that are still active. Wanganella Law on page 42 is not the Wanganella Advancement Committee, it is officially known as the Wanganella
Sorry,
District Association.
Councillor, what is your actual question,
Um,
please?
Just if we can make sure that we have got community consultation with these before any changes are made. We're listed as we are the pending changes, but I don't believe any communication has been had to make pending changes
So your question is, can you ensure
Yeah.
consultation with the committees?
before any further occurs.
Okay, clarify, thank you. I have another question somewhere.
Through you, Madam Mayor. So in relation to that consultation, that is part of the process that we're asking of councillors today. We don't intend to make any fixed changes without the formal resolution of that report. First pass is that engagement so that we do get this right and have the right labels or intent of all of those committees.
Councillor Burge, question.
Through you, Madam Mayor. It says in the report that there are three 5 committees, and then it names the Australia Day Committee. Who are the other two that are actual 355 committees as it stands now, as per the report? Do we know?
Mr. Corporate, would you like to answer that?
Through you, Madam Mayor. Sorry. Can I take that one on notice and I'll come back to you in relation to that one? Sorry.
Thank you, but I may not be here.
Yeah.
But I think it's worthwhile noting
Yeah.
for council if that's okay. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
No other questions? Do I have a mover for that? Do you have a question or are you moving?
No, I'd like to move an alternate recommendation. Thank you. Just in item 2, that we capture in there the sentiment of what Director of Corporate Services was saying about writing to the committees to advise them of upcoming communication and consultations on the pending changes.
Okay, so
So if we somehow can capture that, we're not just writing to them to tell them, we're actually writing to them, we're going to engage with them and consult.
did you capture that, Belinda?
Sorry, I couldn't hear Councillor Thorne.
Sorry. That happens when you write down that in point 2, resolved that the Manager Government Safety and Risk write to committees to advise them of upcoming.
I would suggest, Madam Mayor, that we write to the committees and to enable them to engage with with council in regards to pending changes to the labelling of committees.
What I want.
Right, let's just get it up on the screen and we'll confirm that is whichever one of you is.
And I'd be happy to second that motion.
Right.
Yep.
So on the Manager Government Safety and Risk write to committees to enable them to engage with council as to the
Regarding pending changes.
regarding pending changes.
That they have to have, yeah.
Regarding
Okay, Councillor Thorns, as the mover of the alternate, are you happy with the wording of that?
Yeah, I think so. It's really to show that we are actually going to engage and seek feedback.
Councillor Foley, you were the seconder of that. are you happy?
Yes, I can't read it from here, but yes, providing it that we're going to engage with the communities in order to consult with them around pending changes.
Awesome, Madam Mayor. We have a seconder. Councillor Fawns, did you wish to speak to that?
Yeah, if I could, thank you, Madam Mayor. Just, I think my sentiment is in changing that recommendation is that, it's really important for us to be collaborative and work with our excellent, committees that do so much for our community and that we, engage them in this process. And, I would like to thank them for their hard work that they do, and, there's many of them out there. I could start labelling them all off, but I won't. They're all very, very good communities and they support us well with helping to look after those facilities and them being used in the community.
Thank you. Councillor Foley, as the seconder of that, do you wish to speak to that?
I do, thank you, Madam Mayor. Look, I'm really pleased to see this come up because I think this original report was done back in 2019 or 2020 or thereabouts, and it's been very messy in terms of where groups are at and who's responsible for what. And I think this is very timely and will be a great activity for the new council to be able to engage in a meaningful way with the people that are on those committees. And as Councillor Fawns has said, they all do such great work and alleviate council in a matter of expenses and timely application to the maintenance of very many of those facilities. So I think it's critical that we have the adaptation to the recommendation that was there, that we're just not advising, but we are consulting because we want to hear what their opinion is.
Does anybody else wish to speak for or against? Councillor Sampson?
Through you, Madam Mayor. No, just with that report, it's just good to see, and hopefully what comes out of it is some consistency and standardisation as to who's responsible for what across the different groups. Obviously with the two different councils, Melbourne meeting a little while ago, obviously it's one of those bodies of work to bring everything into some sort of standard process, and yeah, it's just learning who's responsible for what will be of great benefit to each of these, especially the all committees and the user group committees, just to know who's responsible for what.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else wish to speak for or against? Motion. All those in favour? Carried, thank you. Item 10.3, Delivery Program Progress Report, January to June 2024. Recommendation is that Council receive and note the 6 monthly Delivery Program Progress Report for the period January to June 2024. Take the report as having been read. Do I have any questions, councillors? I don't have a question, Councillor Anderson.
Just underneath the issue discussion, commentaries provided in the attached progress report to explain why some of the actions is, I think it's just the way I'm interpreting that. It's not that they're only allowing why some of them haven't progressed. We're being told why if some of them out of all of that haven't progressed, but it's not just a couple, we've still got information on all of them. Does that make sense? It's a semantic process.
So your actual question
Is that we have anything that hasn't progressed, we have got information on that, haven't we? Yeah? Yeah, do we have information on all of the stuff that has not progressed?
Through
Or
you,
just
Madam.
some of it? Sorry, it's the
Through you, Madam Mayor. So what we're saying is that there are a number of items within that plan. Anything that didn't progress is documented within all of those detailed pages around why it didn't progress.
And then by you, Madam Mayor, page 54, 1.1.1 under the noxious weeds and invasive species. I know peppercorn trees in New South Wales are a noxious weed, and I can't remember whether they list on our local policy, but we're listed with 100% scheduled actions. Have we got anything coming up regarding removal and replacement of the peppercorn trees?
Through you, Madam Mayor, and thanks Councillor Peterson. No, we don't have a schedule for the removal. We acknowledge issues around the peppercorn trees. No, it's noted as a weed, but whether it's a scheduled weed as other ones like blackberry and those ones, we don't receive any funding to do it. So at the moment we are working through the management of the peppercorns and their value to the community. It is something that needs to be worked through.
Couple more there, sorry, page 55, 1.2.2, number 1. Have we got an update on the DCP and the LEP progress?
Through you, Madam Mayor, and thanks Councillor Peterson. Those two pieces of work at the moment are with the department, but the process runs through that council endorses it, which council did. It was a very good body of work to get to that point. It's now with the department and they're working through it.
And then on page 59, by you, Madam Mayor, 2.1.1 regarding a list of logistics hub and the rail spur, and 2.1.2 regarding the airport being an important hub. Where are we at in progressing those? I know we've extended the runway, that's lovely, but that doesn't make us a hub. But both are listed as 100% complete. So I'm just wondering what we're doing in regards to promoting this area.
Through Madam Mayor, and thanks Councillor Pearson. So the project status, and this is for all the ones noted there, the project status is in line with the annual target performance measure noted there for the logistics hub 2.1.1 being around the growth strategy, which we're still working on, and for the airport was the completion of the upgrade work. So in terms of the specific actions out of this year for the operational plan, we've been moving forward to them. That is not to say these items that will be picked up in further delivery programs and operational plans for the council.
Thank you. And then the last, it's technically two, but one, page 59 and 60, 2.2.2, in regards to streamlining and improving IT stuff. Mr. Arnold, I sent you through a link for Granicus, which was a councillor portal, which we brought up over a few years. And I know that was sent through, and I've also sent through regarding plum tree planning for neurodivergent children, which aligns with our Disability Inclusion Action Plan for 2.2.3. How are we at with those?
Through you, Madam Mayor, I think the question, both of those items that you forwarded to me have been forwarded on to the appropriate officers to investigate and report back to council.
No, just
where required.
we normally have 10 days with our communications policy, but I haven't heard anything. So
I will follow up on it.
thank you. Thank you.
Any other questions? Councillors? Councillor Burgess, do you have a question?
Through you, Madam Mayor, and I'm not sure if it's relevant, but in relevance towards providing, it's 4.3.1 and 4.3.2, a culture, a professional and effective culture. I'd like to mention that I sat next to Serena Hardwick at the Business Awards. She could not speak highly enough of her meeting with the council staff, and she was absolutely complimentary to the two ladies she met with, and so that's great feedback for your staff. Fantastic.
Thank you for the comment. Councillor Fawns, do you have a question?
Yes, thank you, through you, Madam Mayor. I do have, there's quite a few items that I have to identify and it will take a while for me to go through, but I just have questions on where we're at. Do you want me to ask them now, or could I email them and just get feedback through them, because they're a pretty exhaustive list of.
If I could, through you, Mayor, Councillor Fawns, if you email them to me, we'll respond and copy in all council.
Thank you.
No other questions? Do I have a mover for that? Thanks Councillor Fawns, do I have a seconder? Thanks Councillor Brady. All those in favour?
Oh, can I just make a comment?
Oh, sure.
Madam Mayor? Look, I think it's the 62% of the actions completed and 17% progressing. That's around about 79% that we're in a positive position on. But it does also set up lots of scope for the new council to pick up on, and hopefully this will be a really important starting point for the new council to take on board. I particularly like 3.3 of it with the introduction of a tourism industry group. I know some time ago we had such a group as that, and they provided a lot of very positive feedback both to council and to staff, and particularly in line with the growth strategy. So hopefully this will be a document that will be very much in the forefront of the new council.
Thank you. And remiss of me, so thank you. Councillor Fawns, you were the mover of that. Did you wish to speak to it? Sorry.
No, thank you, Madam Mayor.
Anybody else wish to speak for or against? All those in favour? Carried, thank you. Item 10.4, Pebble River Council Doctor Incentive Payments. Recommendation is there that council note that assistance has been given to 3 new medical practitioners through the Doctors and Registered Nurses Attraction Policy. Take it as read. Councillors, do you have any questions? Councillor Peterson,
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Just on the background, we were Doctors and Registered Nurses Attraction Policy. Have we changed the title, or we just missed that in the original heading? And I'm just wondering what the cost and breakdown has been. I know we've got Bush Bursary, but we've also got Three Rivers and a few other programs happening in town. Are we involved with them as well as part of this, or?
George Corporate, would you like to take that on notice, or it is the author of or Belinda, who's the author?
I can answer that. Obviously, I missed the registered nurses in the heading, so that's fine. Did you want a breakdown of the payments to the?
It was more just as long as we've reached out to Three Rivers with their potentially new nursing students coming here, so we've covered all of that aspect. It's not just the doctors.
So that's actually on our website, and the medical practitioners in town do know of this attraction policy, and they contact us. This is separate from the Bush Bursary, which is a separate budget line.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
Thanks, Peter. Any other questions? Do I have a mover? Thanks, Councillor Fogarty. Do I have a second? That thanks, Councillor Peterson. Councillor Fogarty, do you wish to speak to that?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Yes, it's fabulous to see that we have got two new doctors in town and a new registrar. So well done, and we'll give them all the support we need to. Again, having adequate medical facilities in town is absolutely critical to our growth strategy. So that's fantastic.
Thank you. Councillor Peterson, is there anything you'd like to add?
No, it's just lovely to see support for medical and nursing staff going out so that we can try and grow our health sector and that in turn grow out and work on our growth strategies.
Awesome. Anybody else wish to speak for or against that? All those in favour? Carried, thank you. 10.5 investment report, July 2024. We are going to, yes. The recommendation is there. Alice, do you on?
Yes, through you, Madam Mayor, just to point out just a couple of things from councillor queries is that recommend to, normally in the month of July, it's actual versus year to date, so the figures would be the same, but what we've done in July this year is that the actual interest received is recommendation 2. So that's actually received, whereas recommendation 3 includes our accrued interest on term deposits and banks, so hence that's why it's higher. And on page 86 we import the tables from another document which is summarised from spreadsheets. So consequently, there's rounding errors in these tables.
Thank you, Alistair, for the clarification. Do I have any other questions, councillors?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Just on page 86, now we've got the investment portfolio performance. Our monthly budget was $134,073, and the total interest is $129. Are we changing our investment processes based on the gradual decline we've had on our portfolio?
Yeah. Through you, Madam Mayor, we're constantly reviewing this with our investment advisor, and as per his investment strategies, we're looking at maximising returns to council by looking at the terms in which we deposit, which is looking more in the 1 to 2 year risks, and even 2 to 5 years. So we receive their advice. We're not really into daily investing. We've got small deposits that are usually in the $1 million blocks that we stagger through the year. So there may be 1 or 2 in the month, but we tend to look and sit down with our Arlo advisor, and they give a recommendation, and we look at what's available and pick the best rates on the day.
Thank you. And then, Mr. Cochrane, just one more thing. Now, in June, we had unexpected merger funds, $380,219. That's missing on this one. What's happened to those funds?
I'd have to take that on notice. The funds wouldn't be missing. They'd be included in one of the other categories, just to make that point. But I'd have to take that on notice, Councillor.
Yeah, no, I know that under the internal restrictions, we have gone up on some of those, but the unrestricted funds is down $889 from last month. I'm just wondering where that money's been allocated, that's all.
Well, it's not something been allocated, it would have been used up to pay for projects.
So where that might have gone, if that might be where the unexpected merger funds have been spent.
It's possible, but I wouldn't know exactly. I'd have to go back to the actual reserve and then check the ins and outs of that, but I can look into that for you, Councillor.
Thank you.
Councillor Clatton, question.
Just a quick one. We have $25.7 million in our general fund. I was just wondering, I've forgotten and I apologise. How much money did we get with the prepayment of the FAG grants at the end of June last year that sort of maybe distorts that cash amount a little bit in the sense that it's next year?
It's through you, Madam Mayor, it's approximately $7 million.
Okay. 2025 potentially. I'm not saying that.
Yes, yeah. It wasn't 100%, yeah. So, but yeah. So.
And how much more FAG money is there potentially to come in for the next?
It's probably, or maybe 1.25 million. It all depends, though. What happens is they have a wash up. Mm-hmm. And then they determine the amounts that were going to come through later on, mm-hmm. and that's usually in the second or third quarter. So we don't know the exact amount we're going to receive, but this year they didn't pay the 100% in advance.
Okay, no, thank you.
No other questions, councillors? Do I have a mover for that? Thanks, Councillor Fawns. Do I have a seconder? Thanks, Councillor Clatton. Councillor Fawns, do you wish to speak to that?
No.
Councillor Clatton?
No, fine.
Anybody else wish to speak for or against? All those in favour? Carried, thank you. Item 10.6, Community and Economy Activity Report 2023-24. The recommendation is there that Council receive and note the 2023-24 Community and Economy Activity Report. Do you take it as read? Do you have any questions, councillors? Councillor Earl, question?
Through you, Madam Mayor. On page 115, item 8, development of council's approach to renewables, Southwest Renewable Energy Zone, including introduction to projects, etc. Oh, what's happening there with that? With what? I don't quite understand what that comment means. Or no.
Through you, Madam Mayor, and thanks, Councillor Bird. So with the development of the wind farms and other developments in the energy zone, the renewable energy zone, the requirement for the developers to undertake community programs, which essentially becomes voluntary community contributions. These are significant contributions that will come through in the millions of dollars for each of the developments. So the developers require this as part of their discussions with the state government around getting access, and in doing that they're required to come and talk to the council. So the team have definitely taken the lead in that with talking with the developers. There's over half a dozen developers, so engaging with the developers around what they want to do, entering into letters of intention. That's been council's position at the time. We don't feel that it's a position to enter into formal voluntary planning agreements or contribution plans, because we don't know, the developers don't know what sort of access they're going to get into the system. So the development team definitely working a lot with developers to work through contributions they'll be making as part of these developments.
Through you, Madam Mayor, can I just ask, does that sit in like the neutral zone until the new council is in place, or does the executives continue to make those decisions, or how does that lie at the moment?
Through you, Madam Mayor, thanks. So at this point in time, no specific decisions have been made, because the developers don't know what sort of access they get. They might only get 50% of their development approved, so they'll get 50% of the contribution they're talking to us about. When there's some clarity, and we're hoping there's going to be more clarity on this by the end of the calendar year, staff will definitely work with council around it, because a big part of it is showing that the projects, that the contributions from developers, those projects they'll be going to are of a significant community benefit. So we've been talking with the developers, especially around some of those projects being highlighted and works being highlighted in the growth strategy. This is an opportunity for especially those real significant community projects to get funding, an extra source of funding, which is great to put towards some of those projects. So that's something that the developers have been very positive about. So just want to get across to councillors that in terms of the projects, and that there have been no decisions made, and as that the work goes through, they'll come back up to council.
Thank you.
Any other questions, councillors? Councillor Fawn, question?
Yeah, just through you, Madam Mayor, under the page 114 under cultural developments, this is work that has been done over the last 12 months, developing an annual cultural program for delivery out of the Town Hall suitable for grant funding. Is that something that's come past us? Have we seen the annual cultural program that we for the Town Hall?
Through you, Madam Mayor, I would have to take that question on notice, and I'll get that incorporated in a response back to all councillors.
Further on from that was establishing Town Hall volunteer group, including training program. We just have an update on where we're at with our volunteer group and how that's functioning, if it is functioning.
Through you, Madam Mayor. So the volunteers have undergone a range of different training for their different volunteer roles. Some of it varies depending on what their volunteer role is, and there has been good engagement and feedback through that training program that's been facilitated both by Manager of Community and Economy, and our People and Culture team.
A couple more, but if you want to go to
No,
Mark's
no,
whilst I'm flicking to them, I'm just trying to if you want to take Mark's questions.
Did you have another question, Mark?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. On page, I'll start with page 116. Under Community Development and Events Support, Madam Mayor, your concept of a big screen campaign for Christmas, I'm just wondering through council staff how we're going with that.
Through you, Madam
Have we
Mayor.
organised a program or what it's going to look like as a draft to have a look at?
I haven't had anything come to me as yet. I would have to take that question on notice and provide feedback.
Yes, please. Just, we're about 6 months in and we haven't heard anything. And then page 117, under Economic Development and Business Support, we've got number 9, Grants Officer Recruitment. And then we go down slightly, we've got Grants and Management, but we don't have a grant writer. So I'm just wondering how those two are connected and how we're going with that process.
Through you, Madam Mayor, the grants position, where, as you would be aware, we've tried to recruit for that position on numerous occasions and have been unsuccessful. We have that flagged to recommence recruitment at the start of October, post formal elections. In relation to grants management, although we don't have that officer, that economy team is looking at the grants management framework, looking at all of our operational plans to see what projects and initiatives are in there, and checking back against available grants as we're moving forward to make sure that we can apply for any grants that are relevant to those identified projects.
Thank you. And last one by Madam Mayor, page 118, financial implications. All of this at some point, I'm assuming, is not all free. That would have impacts on the budget or we would have profits or loss. Is that allocated anywhere? Just that we've got, there's no matters on the report of specific financial implications. So.
Through you, Madam Mayor, this report is purely a summary of the work undertaken by that service team for the year. So the financial implications for all of those are within the budget and the individual operational plan items.
Councillor Moore, question?
I just would like to know whether or not the website upgrade that's supposed to launch for next month, if that's actually on track, because that is a significant job that, you know, that we sort of been needed for our whole term at least anyway. So I'm just interested to know if that is on track.
So answer that one first, yeah.
Through you, Madam Mayor, the website upgrade is on track. It's currently in testing with our customer service team and on schedule to go live next week or the week after, later this month, but it is on track.
Fantastic. Did you have another question there? No. Councillor Fawn, do you have another question?
Thank you, through you, Madam Mayor. Probably people are sick of me asking about this over the last 2 years, 9 months. Council's agribusiness master plan. Could you just give me an update on what the implementation plan is for re-establishing the working group and where we're at with that? 2 years, 9 months in wiping dust off. Just wondering where we're at with the agribusiness master plan.
Through you, Madam Mayor, I will take that one on notice and provide a follow-up in an email.
Thank you. It's critical, very critical.
Any other questions, councillors? I have a question, if I may. That's a great report. Would it be appropriate to add to that report moving forward what grants have actually been applied for and how much? So that councillors are aware of what grants have actually, I know we don't have a grant writer, but staff are doing an amazing job. Could we please have that attached to that report? Thank you. If I don't have any other questions, do I have a mover for that report? Thanks, Councillor Moore. Do I have a seconder? Thanks, Councillor Fogarty. Councillor Moore, would you like to speak to that report?
Yeah, I'd like to, Madam Mayor, if that's okay. I'm extremely grateful for the team that we have that that get these things done for our community. I hear nothing but fantastic feedback from the dealings that the community has with them, for their writing, for the letters, for the get-togethers, for all of the things that are facilitated for our community. I just want to congratulate them for such a good effort over the last 12 months, especially. And this report is just fantastic to see. I just love seeing such a full and informative report to let us know where we're at and what we've been doing, and I just love it. It's great.
Thank you. Councillor Foley, do you wish to speak?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. If I concur with Councillor Moore that it is a very in-depth report, and obvious that it's been a very busy year, and I also hear very positive feedback around the community and economy engagement team. And I'm really pleased to see that on the work plan for the coming year is a community engagement tool. That's obvious that's been one of the things that overall council's engagement with the community has not been positive. And the consultants that we had in regards to the consultancy that we did around community engagement clearly demonstrated that we're seen as two separate entities. So that would be terrific to see that on the cards, and also the proactive grant seeker that's already been commented on is also a great initiative to have there.
Thank you. Anybody else wish to speak for or against? Councillor Clapham.
Again, I congratulate those people who put together these successful programs over the last 12 months and preceding and forward to future ones. I can't reiterate how important the issue of grant funding to communities of this size is. Really, we do not have a budget that allows for any surplus cash to be reinvested into the community. So grant funding is really the only mechanism by which we can get any capital infrastructure developments happening going forward. One of the things I would like to have seen included in this, and it's been touched on in a way, is a coordination of not just the council grants but also the public grants. And many of our communities are very successful in raising grant funding. The football clubs are good examples, and the Youth Muster is an extraordinarily good example. The Show Society, an extraordinarily good example. Southwest Arts are a good example. All of those very successful grant applications have been supported by council, but the process has been driven outside of council. I think included in this should be a mechanism by where all grants that are active and pending are reported to on a monthly basis back to council. And I use as an example the $4.5 million grant I think that Southwest Arts have received for Southwest Music, my apologies, for the redevelopment of the Commonwealth Bank building. That would be over 2 years ago that grant funding was committed to that organisation. To this stage, I know there's been some activity with regards to the development of the concepts and the architects and stuff like that, but a project like that should be driven, in my view, on a monthly basis, and the council should be, whilst not responsible for the actual utilisation of the funds, the council should be a very important part of driving the project and making sure that it comes to market and comes to the community in a much more efficient and acceptable way. So this is an excellent report. There are areas within it that I think the future councils could develop it in a way where we would get much more tangible and a much more expeditious outcome. But all to be congratulated.
Thank you. Councillor, anybody else wish to speak for or against? All those in favour? Carried. Thank you. Item 10.7, Development Services Activity Report for July 2024. Recommendation is there that council receive and note the July 2024 Development Services Report. Do I have any questions, councillors? I don't have any questions. Do I have a mover? Thanks, Councillor Platten. Do I have a seconder? Thanks, Councillor Forens. Councillor Platten, would you like to speak to that?
I will speak to it very briefly, and I apologise for taking up people's time. The recently tabled Growth Committee report references this report as a key criteria to measure the success of the project and the growth strategy, as it deals specifically with the dollar values and the number of development applications that are happening within the community at any one time. If the future council adopts a growth strategy report, it is incumbent to make sure that they're very aware that this information has to go to the public on a very regular basis to ensure whether the strategy is working, as it is probably the single most important report in order to determine whether the growth strategy is successful, transient, or failing. So it's an important report and it needs to be incorporated into the growth strategy going forward.
Thank you. Councillor Forens, do you wish to add to that?
Thank you through you, Madam Mayor. I concur with what Councillor Clapham was saying. It's good to see that we're a little bit in front of where we were this time last year, and hope that that trend continues and we have plenty of new residents being built for these subdivisions, etc. And this will help drive some of that growth strategy work as well.
Thank you. Does anybody else wish to speak for or against? All those in favour? Carried. Thank you. 10.8 Major Projects Report July 2024. Recommendations there that Council receive and note the Major Projects Program Progress Report for July 2024. Take the report as having been read. Do you have any questions, councillors? Councillor, some question.
I've got a couple. Just starting on page 128, the Netball Association club rooms under the Memorial Park. How are we progressing with that? We're at 90% end of July. We've gone to mid-August. Are we on track to finish in the next day or two, or are we extending again?
Through you, Madam Mayor, and thanks, Councillor Peterson. So that project's been delivered by the cricketers and the DNA. So we're a stakeholder rather than a delivery person for it. But my understanding is that it's that timing's pretty complete. So we would expect it to be completed in the next few months. So pretty well on that timing. It may go over a little bit longer as the information we've been provided.
Page 129, under, no, I asked about Sally Yards refurbishment, a question I know we were tracking up on that one from the last meeting. Road repair under flood recovery, the damage repairs throughout the road network, last meeting we had listed where they were. Previously it was Mooney Swamp and Carrickville Roads. This one's just got works are ongoing but not where. If we change locations, are we still in the same place, or we have a bit of an update on that, please?
Through you, Madam Mayor, thanks, Councillor Mason. I'll update that on notice, Councillor Peterson, for the actual locations on those. So I'll get that back to councillors.
Thank you. And then page 130 to 131, under the Pretty Pines Road widening, in the last meetings, the eastern segment was complete except for stabilisation, which was to be finished at the end of June. The middle segment was complete, and then the western segment just had drainage to be done. But I know this report says that we're still going. So I'm just wondering where we've gone backward, inclement whether it was July, but not continuously. So just wondering what the slowdown was from.
Through you, Madam Mayor. So thanks, Councillor Peterson. With the weather, we have had weather through it. So you can have weather on a day and it may impact a few days of work. So knowledge that the progress through July, which this is reporting on July, not where we were hoping for it to be, but mainly impacted through weather conditions.
Okay, so the question I had was just how close to completion are we? Because 2 sections we had completed in June, but I noticed that they're back open again now. So I'm just wondering where we're at completion wise.
Yeah, I'll take that on notice. Thanks, Councillor Peterson.
Do we have Councillor Moore question?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Wanted to ask about the skate park, and whether we have had any feedback about, its success. I personally have noted, quite a large influx of children, of varying ages. I even seen a gentleman yesterday with, his kid in the pram, and he was just throwing the ball up and down the ramp for the kid, and I thought that was fantastic utilisation of the. No, he wasn't letting it go.
Alright, so your question is.
So I just would like to know if we have had any feedback, and on the flip side of that, have we had any damage? Have we had any trees damaged? Have we had any,
Vandalism.
pardon?
Vandalism.
Vandalism, yeah.
Yeah, through you, Madam Mayor, and thanks, Councillor Moore. So the first part there around usage, it's anecdotal as well, but I've seen the same things coming in and out from this area, that the usage has been very good. You know, part of that maybe not having a skate park for 6 or 9 months, so people getting back into it. But I've noted that cross-section of the community, it isn't just one group, it is actually quite a wide group, so really happy with the engagement of the community on it. In terms of the use and damage and that, my understanding there's been some minor graffiti and that. There might have been some with the trees. We've had an internal handover from the projects team to the facilities and open space team, so that's part of that, and getting on top of that. So it's sort of front of mind with it is staying on top of that, but nothing that I've noted that has been excessive.
Thank you. So, question, Councillor Peterson.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Just following on from Councillor Moore with the skate park, just as a follow-up question from several meetings ago, I don't ask you the time frame on that, we agreed to work with Mr. Alan Jones and a couple of others regarding artwork that was there originally for the late Clark Jones. And we had a memorial plaque there for the late Stacey Brooks. I'm just wondering where that will be placed now that the skate park is back open, as I've had a few constituents ask.
Yeah, through Madam Mayor, I think. They're both issues we're working through. We know with the artwork, but the concern that's been raised from others is that it wasn't approved artwork to begin with. So there is a question to work through. Not that says whether it comes back or a similar amount of artwork, but a question around in that space what it was. So we still have all the plaques and everything from them. We've got them up in the depot. What artwork and that looks that we're going to put in, that the committee wants us to put in at the skate park is something we're still working through.
Okay, and understood. That was a resolution of council that we would engage.
Yeah.
Do I have any other questions, councillors? Do I have a mover? Thanks, Councillor Moore. Do I have a seconder? Thanks, Councillor Peterson. Councillor Moore, do you wish to speak to this?
No, I don't particularly have anything other than what I've already said. Thank you.
Councillor Peterson?
Just it's wonderful to see such a good report and that we're progressing. So.
Anybody else wish to speak for or against? Councillor Clapham?
I just wish to speak for it and congratulate the council on the appointment of the new manager of the sale yards. It seems that process has worked well, Mark, I would think, and where it was stalled, I noticed that we've only got $130,000 worth of funds to be spent out there, and you know, it's nice to see some good things happening in important places.
Thank you. Anybody else? All those in favour? Carried, thank you. 10.9, resolutions of council. Recommendation is there that council note the information in the resolution of council as at the 7th of August 2024. Do I have any questions? Taking the report as having been read. Councillor Peterson, question?
Madam Mayor, page 140, 2024-1706-13.1 regarding the MAC and Celeste building. I noticed that we've had the Electoral Commission have signed on and secured both buildings until the 18th of October, but they are currently in the town hall. Are they still covering bills for both venues, or what have we done within that? Considering the agreement with Eras.
Who would like to put their hand up for that one?
Through you, Madam Mayor. Thank you for the question, Councillor Peterson. So the Electoral Commission, as you said, in the Town Hall. They also require the Sunday School building for a period of 2 weeks. Whilst they've moved out of the building that Eras will occupy, as per the council resolution, we've taken the opportunity to undertake some much needed maintenance in consultation with Eras, I might add, to address some challenges with the roof that was allowing not only weather but also pigeons to get into the building, and those works are progressing as we speak.
Thank you. Any other questions, councillors? Councillor Burge, question?
Through you, Madam Mayor, on page 142. Sorry. Yeah, I'm just looking for the number of it. Sorry, that was the, right, 2024/1604 12.4, the power purchase agreement. I notice it's closed. I did ask several meetings ago if we could, a question was taken on notice regarding which councils in Ramjo actually joined the Hunter Joint Organisation. So do we have an update there, please?
Through you, Madam Mayor, and thanks, Councillor Burge. I'll take that on notice, provided I've got a list of those councils from the documentation that we've been working with the group. So I do have that list of overall councils and the Ramjo councils as part of it. So we'll definitely make sure that information gets across to councils.
Through you, Madam Mayor, may I just ask, did all of them sign up or not? Is that, would you know that information?
Through you, Madam Mayor, not all Ramjo councils, but a significant number of Ramjo councils.
Thank you.
Councillor Forrest, did you have a question?
Yes, thank you, through you, Madam Mayor. It's in regards to page 139, 2024-1706, 12.1. I'm just wondering on an update on how we're progressing with those negotiations.
Apologies, Councillor Fawns, I was just catching up on that last question. Could you repeat the reference again? My apologies.
2024, so page 139.
139,
The 2024-1706 12.1 Penelope Moonfield Gate.
yeah.
It's noted in progress for completion in August, and I'm just wondering how we're proceeding.
Thank you, Councillor Fawns. Look, they are still in progress. We've reached out and had meetings with the company involved. I can report that they're not pleased, and at this point in time they're trying to work towards a common point between council and CWS. So we have in our discussions with CWS, we've noted the adopted fees and charges, which they don't agree with, what the actual 24-25 fees and charge was, and also around the agreement. And it's something we'll continue to work through with them, because ultimately, and it's something we're working through internally as well. I'll just highlight it for councillors' information, and that is that we can't force CWS to enter into an agreement. We can just put forward. Council has adopted charges in its fees and charges. They are what are being implemented and in the field. You know, we're working with CWS to see how this can go through in the future. But yeah, there's still a lot of work to do in that space. No, sorry, yeah, I'm happy to catch up with you about it, but that's the response for where we're up to with it.
Do I have any other questions, councillors? Do I have a mover for that? Thanks, councillor Thorns. Do I have a seconder? Thanks, councillor Platten. Councillor Thorns, do you wish to speak to that?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Just that, you know, there's a few things there that are still open and works in progress, and I guess the new council to have focus on closing some of those out as well. So, yeah, that's all I might add to that. And maybe update some dates in the report.
Thank you. Councillor Platten, do you wish to speak to
No.
it?
Thank you very much.
Does anybody else wish to speak for or against? All those in favour? Carried, thank you. Item 10.10, Mayor, Council, CEO meetings attended July 2024. Recommendation is there that Council note meetings attended on behalf of Council by the Mayor, Councils and Interim Chief Executive Officer during the month of July 2024. Item 2, continue to advise the Chief Executive Officer's Executive Assistant of their meeting diaries and activities attended. Take it as read. Questions?
Hi, Madam Mayor. I don't know if it's an adjustment or not. The related train that was in on the 27th of July 2024, you were at the train. Was that as me or just to visit?
I went down as Mayor to
Okay.
say hello. I got asked to go
Do we
down.
need to pop that in?
Oh, there's probably a few things I've been invited to that I haven't put in, but no, but
That's
thank
okay.
you.
Oh, good.
We don't have any more questions. Do I have a mover for that? Thanks, Councillor Peterson. Do I have a seconder? Thanks, Councillor Fogarty. Councillor Peterson, do you wish to speak for that?
No, we still have to put in anything we've done in August, don't we? Even though we're in caretaker mode, if we go anywhere. Still.
Through you, Madam Mayor, that is correct.
Yep,
yes.
no, just checking, so we'll still keep that rolling. But no, I guess I'm just a bit sad that this is our last month really of council, so as a group, so yeah.
Councillor Fogarty, you wish to speak to it?
Not necessarily to that, Madam Mayor, but if I could make a comment, I'd be very grateful for some time. And it's a bit in relation to what Councillor Peterson just said, that this council is drawing to a close, and as a comment in commitment to serving our community, I'd like to thank you for the flowers that you gave me, and take this time and opportunity to publicly say what an honour it has been to serve our community. A bit emotional. 21 years is a long time to have a commitment to the community. And in that time, there's been some fabulous achievements that have gone down. And the town levy system was a massive undertaking. The Deniliquin Youth Council. It's a shame that it didn't last beyond my initial term of council, but it was a fabulous initiative to encourage our young people to develop their skills and their capacities. Great example, sitting over here. And they were involved in many activities such as the Flat Earth Festival, concerts going down to Melbourne, which was an opportunity that wouldn't necessarily prevail them. The Deniliquin Medical Centre, again, that's a very important instrument to our growth. Rotary Park and the stadium at Rotary Park, the initial skate park, the initiation and the development of the Ute Muster, and that grew from a council initiative. Pepin Heritage Centre and the Crossing Cafe. In terms of our 3Rs, the sewerage realignment and some of the issues that have arisen around that. Fostering a smooth amalgamation transition. I mean, that was an incredibly successful undertaking. And congratulations to our ex-mayor and Councillor Norm Brennan. Procuring funds for the redevelopment of the Town Hall and the Civic Plaza, Waring Gardens, Scotts Park, the airport runway. So many enormous things have been achieved, and I sincerely thank people that have been a part of the journey along the way. I've made an enormous number of friends, and I particularly thank my husband Richard. Boy, he's been tolerant and supportive and understanding. I congratulate all the new candidates that have demonstrated their commitment by putting themselves forward for the election, and I wish them and the incoming council every success for the future. So I'm happy to step down. Back in 2002, there was a story written about myself in one of the creative writers' books, and I feel that I can step down regarding some of the words that were in that, thank you, that I can be justifiably proud of my achievements and my commitment to my adopted community. And thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else wish to speak for or against? All those in favour? Carried. Thank you. Item 11.1, confidential items. Can I have a mover to go into confidential counsel? Thanks, Councillor Moore. Thanks, Councillor Forms. As a seconder, all those in favour? Carried. Thank you. you. We're back on, thank you. CEO, up to you.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. In closed session, Council resolved to authorise and delegate the interim Chief Executive Officer to negotiate where appropriate and under the advice of appointed legal representation and in accordance with insurer's instructions in relation to the Federal Court of Australia matter, NSD 633-2024, Philip Stone versus Edward River Council and all. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Thank you everybody. There being no other business, I declare the meeting closed at 11:38. Thank you all for your time, for your effort. Thank you again, Pat. Have a great day, have a great week. As always, be kind. Thank you.